next year for the NFL has now begun, and teams are scrambling to build their rosters into contenders. And not to mention, Odell Beckham Jr. was great last year, but what about his quarterback? The panel discusses these topics, so get ready because the power play starts right now. Hello all, and welcome to the Power Play. I'm Jared Joseph here alongside Reggie, Chatman, and Amanda Lusskin. How are you guys doing today?
I'm pretty good. How about?
I'm doing swell. It's a little bit rainy outside, but it's whatever.
Yeah, my hair's feeling the pain, but it's all right.
Well, guys, I'm glad to finally have you on the show. It's been a long time coming, your freshman duo here, so I want to see what's going on with you guys. I know you're eager to get started, so let's begin. NFL free agency began, about 72 hours ago or so. Almost at that point, big names were already on the move. Of course, Ndamukong Suh, took his hat to South Beach. Sorry, LeBron. DeMarco Murray is expected to become an Eagle, which he already has. Darrell Revis returned to the Big Apple alongside his partner Antonio Cromartie. So, guys, that being said, let's start with you, Reggie. What was either the most surprising or disappointing thing that happened in the offseason so far?
I think the most exciting thing for me is just how many moves that the Eagles have been making. Chip Kelly has just been making a whole bunch of different ideas, and we're not really 100% sure what he's trying to do. But I just know he wants to get some players into the roster so he can get a win. He wants to have another winning season this year, and I'm with this movement that he's going for.
Okay, what do you think about the moves the Eagles are making?
Well, yeah, I agree with Reggie. I'm not, of course, thrilled with it because I am a Giants fan and do not want to see the Eagles excel. But I think one of the things I'm really excited about is Darrell Revis returning to New York because he left them. And, Revis Island was up in New England and won a Super Bowl with them, and that's got to kill the fans. I know from dealing with Jet fans my whole life that they hate the Patriots and didn't want to see him excel up there, and he did. So we'll have to see if they can love him again.
Interesting points, guys. Just a odd topic. What do you think, though? They get DeMarco Murray, but they lost Frank Gore to the Colts, and they have an offense that is now kind of stagnant. At least no Deshaun Jackson anymore for a couple years ago. No Jeremy Maclin, but they keep Riley Cooper and they trade LaShawn McCoy.
Well, I think that Chip Kelly must have some sort of plan with this because you wouldn't make all these moves. You wouldn't try and get Frank Gore off of the 49ers and then trade him off. If you didn't have a prior idea of what he's trying to achieve. I think down the line we're going to see a bunch of moves that are going to all contribute to creating an offense that's going to be fast-paced, just like Chip Kelly had back at Oregon.
Okay, but Frank Gore was more of a power back. So, I don't know. They said he was in tears over it. What do you think? Is it that kind of a situation? Would you be in tears over leaving to go to Philly or Indy?
Well, I would personally be over tears in leaving to Philly, so I think Frank Gore made the right move by going to Indianapolis. But I definitely agree with Reggie. I know we're supposed to be arguing here, but Reggie's right on it. That, they must have a big plan. They're making all these trades and everything, so Eagles will definitely be something you should keep your eye on throughout this process.
Okay, thank you guys. That was some great answers. But it's time to move on to our next topic. We talked a good bit about the NFC, a little bit of the East. Eagles, Redskins, they got that team, the Cowboys, but they have that other team in New York, the Giants. And, the Giants are looking to have one of the better receiving corps next year. Of course, they're going to have Odell Beckham Jr. There's going to be Ruben Randle still there. And hopefully Victor Cruz will be salsa dancing again. It's a pretty good wide receiving group. But it's uncertain whether or not, you can spell elite with Eli anymore. So that being said, I'll give you the first statement. Is he still elite?
Okay, this is a topic I feel very passionate about because I'm a very big Eli Manning fan. There are moments where he makes me want to tear my hair out. But when I look back on Eli Manning's career, I look at the Super Bowl wins. I look at that throw to David Tyree, all those comebacks. And you know what? I think he can still do it. I still have that hope that, he's all over the place, Eli. We love him. He's everywhere. He'll throw 20 interceptions and come back and be great. So I have that hope that he can come back. He has these incredible wide receivers to bail him out. So you know what? Eli Manning is still elite.
I would have to disagree with you on that one. I definitely don't think Eli Manning he's no longer elite. Look, you started off this sentence saying that when you look back on his career, at one point he could be argued as being one of the elite QBs in this league, but he hasn't had a playoff appearance in a little while. And I think that really at the end of the day, Eli is not a QB that you can rely on long term, to have like to get you wins. I think his receiving core is what's really bailing him out. Odell Beckham is one of the best receivers in the game right now, and I think that at the end of the day, that's the reason that Eli is still getting looked at as a as a QB that could contribute.
Well, I don't know how much double bubble that David Tyree had on his helmet for that catch in 2007, but you can't argue that 2011 catch. That was a good throw.
That David Tyree catch was a great catch. I don't think many people can make that. He got out of the sack as well before that.
This is true, but that being said, one last question. Do the Super Bowl wins put him over Peyton?
Ooh, that is a hard question. I think maybe, because when people look at Peyton Manning, what's the first thing they say? They go, well, he only won one Super Bowl. That's what everybody says about Peyton. So Eli won too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when we look at the regular season, Peyton is better. And there are moments where I would prefer Peyton, because Eli does make me want to cry sometimes. But yeah, when you look at their legacy, Eli has those Super Bowls. And more than Drew Brees, more than Andrew Luck, and Peyton Manning. So,
look. If we're talking about one of the greatest QBs of all time here with Peyton Manning, you're going to look at his all-time stats. He holds a whole plethora of records in this league, not only on both teams that he's been on, but also in just the NFL in general. And if we're going to look at Super Bowl rings, we could look at all sports. There's lots of opportunities, let's say in basketball, where you can say certain athletes were better than Michael Jordan because they had more rings, which I don't necessarily agree with. So I don't think the argument of Eli having more rings than Peyton Manning is necessarily gonna make him better at the end of the day than Peyton Manning.
Yes, but would you rather say my quarterback has a plethora of records, or would you rather say my quarterback has 2 Super Bowl rings? Because I think I'd rather go with the Super Bowl rings, but that's just me.
I mean, but if we're looking at if you're talking about your individual franchise, then sure, I would like to say he has more Super Bowl rings, but we're talking about the race to see who's the better QB all time. And I think at the end of the day, when you look back, you're not going to talk about how Eli Manning was one of the greats of all time. Peyton Manning is a first ballot Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can necessarily say that about Eli Manning.
Well, that being said, just one last point. Eli, he did break Peyton's record when he won the 2011 Super Bowl with the most fourth quarter touchdowns in that year, 15 of them. Not sure, how long that'll stand now because, Andrew looks pretty good. But, guys, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. For Reggie Chatman and Amanda Lusskin, I'm Jared Joseph. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week, and stay dry.